Video 10, Nature of the Self, Nature of the Realized Being. Within brackets, both are the same. In Arunachala Navamani Male, they say Arunachala, it was Sri Bhagavan's Guru, so to say, the mountain, Arunachala mountain in Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu, South India. That is where Sri Bhagavan lived after enlightenment for 54 years. With just one piece of loin cloth on his body, he was spreading the grace. His grace, Brahman's grace, all are one. So in that he says, Achalane ayinum achavai thannil, achalayam ammai ediradum, achala uruvil achatti odingida, ongum arunachalam enrari. This verse has the ultimate message. I'll give you the context. One of Bhagavan's disciples, he came from a town called Chidambaram, where Lord Shiva temple is there, where he appears in the form of a dancing Shiva. You would have all seen that statue. So he says, he pestered the disciple, Bhagavan, why don't you come to Chidambaram? To silence him, Bhagavan wrote this and gave in a piece of paper. Then he never approached Bhagavan with this request. The verse says, Achalane ayinum, achavai thannil ammai ediradum. Although the Brahman, which is nothing but Shiva, is still, his nature is to be still. But there in Chidambaram, Achalayam ammai ediradum. He says, there the Shakti, the female aspect of it, is standing still, and Lord Shiva, who is supposed to be still, he is dancing. Next he says, Achala uruvil achatti odingida ongum arunachalam enrari. The most important point. Achala uruvil achatti odingida. This is the stillness form. Okay? From this mind or Shakti or power or Maya, it emanates from here. It goes out. It creates the universe, does everything. Now he says, when this Shakti or Manam or mind, when it goes back and merges with that stillness from where it originated, Ongum Arunachalam enrari. Arunachala or Anma, that condition will shine forth. Ongum, which means like victoriously it will stand. You know the message, it's very simple. The mind has to become still. When it becomes still, it subsides. When it subsides, it becomes one with its source. That is when you stand as the power that can create the universe, that creates the universe. This is the secret. So long as your mind is moving, wavering, so long as you are running the mind, no. We will remain petty and powerless. This is the truth about the verse. Then he says, Satya Sitsugam Andri Paravir Sarayikam At Tattvamasi Aruna Porulam. He says, Acharatha Artham Ganamadu Agum Sevvadaga Aroliyam Mukti Ninaika Arul Arunachala Munnidave. This verse says, Satya Sitsugam Andri Paravir Sarayikam Aruna Porulam. When you say Arunachala, Sri Bhagavan said, Arunachala mountain, it means Satchit Anandam. It is just a visual representation of the truth. That's all. That's what he called. This is not a mountain, he said. This is the center of the earth, he said. This is nothing but Brahman, he said. This is at the transactional level. At the absolute level, you cannot see anything, because in the absolute, there is no such thing as matter at all, first of all. So he says, when you say Arunachala, it means Sat Chit Anandam plus Para Uyir Sar Aikam, the union of the individual self with the universal self. That is what it signifies, he says. Para Uyir Sar Aikam At Tattvamasi Aruna Porulam. Another meaning is that Tattvamasi. When you look at the mountain, it is telling you Tattvamasi, or it is standing as Tattvamasi itself, as Brahman itself. Achalat artham ganamadu agum. When you say achalam, the Arunachala mountain is standing, achalam, which means standing still. That means oneness, one consciousness, one existence consciousness, bliss. And he says, Mukti ninaikka arul Arunachalam unnidave. Certain places, if you visit, you will get liberation. Kashi, for example, a famous holy town in India. If you visit it and if you die there, you will get liberation. There are some other holy places. If you visit there, Chidambaram, for example, if you visit the place, you will be liberated. There is another place called Tiruvarur, where if you are born, you will be liberated. There are several such details. Okay. The point here is, if you think of the Arunachala mountain, which is nothing but Ramana Bhagavan, right? If you think of him or the mountain, you are liberated. That is the meaning of this verse. Then we are coming to one of the major scriptures called Devi Kalotram. This thing, Chittam Siridasaya Samsaram, verse 10, it says, Chittam Siridasaya Samsaram Nichalamai Chittam Nilainirka Mukti. Devi Kalotram is supposed to be the advice or education given by Lord Shiva to his consort Parvati. Some mythical representation. It simply means Atma is educating itself, it's informing itself. You can have it whichever way you want. So, one of the important verses, Siddham Siridasaya Samsaram Nichalamai Chittam Nilainirka Mukti. Siddham idu, Chittam Tiramakave Vendum Adalinal Paraman Pragyainal Par. Diman Paramam Pragyainal Par. Chittam Siridasaya Samsaram. If the mind, it wavers even a little bit, it is worldly life. Which means you are running the mind, you are caught in worldly life. You are caught in the universe. Chittam Siridasaya Samsaram Nichalamai Chittam Nilainirka Mukti. If the mind stands still, it is liberation. Is it that easy? Yes. Try that. The mind is a restless, it's a drunken monkey. The mind is a drunken monkey. Added to that, it has drunk alcohol. Added to that, a scorpion has stung him. You can imagine, this is the description given by Swami Vivekananda. So, it is very difficult, of course, to start with, to control the mind and make it still. But it is clearly said in Bhagavad Gita, with, even Sri Bhagavan has said many times, with practice, slow practice, it is possible. You can achieve that stillness is liberation. Chittam Tiramakave Vendum. Okay, now, if you sit in meditation or vicharam or breath observation, you acquire that stillness for some time. Is it enough? Done and over? No. Chittam Tiramakave Vendum. It has to become stable. That stillness has to become stable for a long time. Then it will become a habit. Then that will become the default. Right now, what is the default? The mind running is the default. Once you become enlightened, the mind being still will become the default. Sri Bhagavan said, like how it is very difficult for you not to think thoughts. For a jnani, it is very difficult to think thoughts. Just understand the mechanism. This is the nature of the self, nature of an enlightened being. Adrinal Diman Paramam Pragyainal Par. So he says, be always, you cannot see from that state of Brahman. You can just be Brahman. He says, be established in the self. That is the message. Then, verse 11, Anda Egandathu Adayum Sugamaduve Andamila Adyanda Anandam. Yenda Karmamum il Apparathil Katravanam Yardan Ramithidan Ni Isai. This verse brings to our notice one of the important points. He says, Anda Egandathu Adayum Sugamaduve Andamila Adyanda Anandam. The real bliss is that which is obtained in that state of solitude. Solitude, not only physical solitude, mental solitude. You can choose to be among the crowd of the world and still, you can choose to be still. If you know the theory, If you understand the theory that stillness is being God, with the practice, you can choose to disregard all other disturbances and noises and just be, even amidst the din and bustle of the city life, you can choose to be Atma. அந்த ஏகாந்தத்தை அடையும் சுகமதுவே அந்தமிலா அத்தியந்த ஆனந்தம் எந்த கர்மமும் இல் அப்பறத்தில் கற்றவனாம் யார்தான் ரமித்திடான் நீ இசை எந்த கர்மமும் இல் no action at all, no physical action, no mental action. Such is the state of a ஞானி. எந்த கர்மமும் இல் அப்பறத்தில் கற்றவனான் யார்தான் ரமித்திடான். Whoever has attained that state, will he not enjoy that state of peace? He is asking. Will he not enjoy that Brahman experience, that oneness experience? He is asking. Next, 13 says, Devi Kalotram verse 13 says, Irikindrain enkalayodu eindha chaitanya uru shakti agudal olirum prabanjam sarvam sati dhyanam sar nitkala ஞானம் sarva niralambam தான். இருக்கின்றேன் என்ற என்கலையோடு ஏய்ந்த சைத்தன்ய ஒரு சக்தி. The real form of Brahman is I am experience. One of the qualities we can say, or the major quality of Brahman is I am. I am this body? No. I am that person? No. I am John? No. I am Miss Lily? No. I am Sentivel? No. Minus all that. Go on deducting everything. Prapanjam deducted, world deducted, body deducted, mind deducted, ego deducted, memory deducted, minus. What is left? I am. That is real power, he says. When you become that power, you will notice that the entire universe is shining forth, appearing in its power. Whose power? Your power. When you reach out to your true nature and just be still, absolutely still, without any thought, you will shine forth as that power beyond which there is no other power, because it's the power of all powers. All the powers of the universe emanate from this power. That is what you are. That is the nature of Jnanam. That is the nature of an enlightened being. I am is the quality of Brahman. In that quality state, in that power, highest power, the entire universe shines forth. Appearance takes place in its power. He says, Irkindrain enkalayodu eindha chaitanya uru shakti agudal olirum prabanjam sarvam sati dhyanam. The whole universe is nothing but the imagination of that power. Brahman's Maya power. That's all. From Brahman, the power of Maya emanates and it creates, so to say, or it has created an illusion that the universe is there, body is there. And in that illusory universe, this body is there with this thinking that I am the body. That thinking is the culprit. That is the whole conspiracy. If you understand this conspiracy, then we will not settle with the I thought. We will start doing vicharam inquiry. What is the birthplace of this I thought, which is doing all this mischief? Then we'll reach out to our original nature, which is the highest power, which is the cause of all manifestation of the universe, so to say. It's not absolutely the cause because it doesn't get transformed into the universe. In its power, this happens. That's all. Sarvam Sati Dhyanam. இருக்கின்றேன் என்கலையோடு ஏய்ந்த சைத்தன்ய ஒரு சக்தி அகுதால் ஒளிரும் பிரபஞ்சம் சர்வம் சத்தி தியானம் சார் நிற்கல ஞானம் சர்வ நிராலம்பம் தான். So if you want to have that state of jnanam, realization where mixing up with matter is not there, nitkala, no object at all. You are objectless, you are universeless, you are bodiless, you are thoughtless. That is the state. So reaching out to that state is nothing but giving up all material support. Sarva niralambam. I depend on this body, I depend on my wife, I depend on my husband, I depend on my job. All this just stand aside. Say, I am not dependent on anything because I am independent Atma. I don't have another cause for my existence as Brahman. So, We'll move in the next verse.